Oh, hanky panky, give it a rest. Please give it a rest. This whole shenanigans about, well, is it the upper or is it the lower? I was 17. I know you cannot see this scar. It is not as visible as it was when this happened. I was 17 when it happened, but I was bit by my friend's dog because, baby, I'm still scared of dogs, okay? They win, all right? They win. And we were in her garage area, and she thought because that she was holding the dog, it would be like, oh, my owner has me. But, baby, my fear, they could still smell it now, okay? So he bit me, but he only bit on the top. Nothing penetrated to the backside. It was only one tooth. It was a canine. And of course, at the time, you could tell because it was very like circular. But they just did one bite and they was done. That happens all the time. People who've been bitten by dogs, some of us survived to tell the story, okay? So besides the fact that I went in and was like, you know, oh, a dog bit me, you could tell that it was a canine tooth. It does not matter when they are attacking you if it's the upper or the lower. Sir, it does not look like it came from a tail light. And if you thought that, you wouldn't have to sit and harp on that for 25 minutes, okay? It took the doctor quicker to wrap this up and get me out of there than it has for you to be done on the stand with this doggone doctor, okay? Dr. Russell know her stuff. Have a seat, hanky panky. We're not in the mood for it today, okay? Wrap it up. Alessi just asked for a mistrial. Alessi just asked for a mistrial. Baby, I had to get my tissue. I can't take it this morning. I can't take it. I'm so proud of him. I was just complaining because they have been letting Brendan go on and on and on. And I'm like, okay, asked and answered, asked and answered. I am shaking. Asked and answered, asked and answered. And they wasn't saying nothing. And they let the jury go for 30 minutes. They just asked for a mistrial with a prejudice because Brennan decided to bring up something talking about some DNA, and they said they have not presented anything about that, and they have told him to provide the documentation where he keeps talking about this stuff, and he has not done it. And he said, show me the evidence. Baby, I don't know what to do with myself. Alessi just asked for a mistrial because Brennan's shenanigans this morning. He has been acting a fool all morning. He is mad. I don't know what to do with this. I don't think it'll be granted, but I am still glad it is on the record. Mistrial, they have been doing this shenanigans for too long, and they are fed up. They have been playing the game right, and they said he brought this up and he should not have brought it up. You better earn your doggone money, Alessi. I got to go cry. I don't, baby. I'm so proud of you. If Dr. Russell drinks, I'm positive she had her drink after she got off that stand dealing with Hanky Panky, because he was quite annoying today. What a day. So, day 26, the third day in the defense's case, and they did, of course, start with Dr. Russell finishing up her cross-examination from Hanky Panky. If any way, shape, or form you missed earlier's video when Alessi asked for a mistrial with prejudice, what a beautiful moment. But of course, you know, that was denied. But I'm just thankful that it's on the record. So let's move on into what happened with that. So of course, he started out with this line of questioning, you know, well, did you talk to the defense and blah, 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 and who told you to do this? Because she did get, you know, advised. When they say something, ask them for the paperwork that they're talking about, see if they got it. Because if they don't have it, they're not telling you the truth. They're trying to trip you up. And so she started doing that yesterday. She didn't immediately start with it, and she kind of remembered to start doing it, and so she knew she had been advised. But anybody would have told her that. It don't matter who told her. She did say Alessi, and I wish she wouldn't have. But they honest. The defense people is honest. Catch that. Catch that. They honest people. And this whole vibe of trying to make her be an accident reconstructionist when this woman is a doctor, no, it's not. Don't belittle her being where she's at. She's worked hard. And he kept asking her, well, are you an accident reconstructionist? Well, why didn't you reconstruct the accident? Because that's not her doggone job. She is a forensic pathologist and has worked in the ER and has seen victims from collisions come in. She has seen people come in from dog bites. That is why her expertise is specialized. You trying to tell her she could be an accident reconstructionist, that's not her job. That's not the piece of the puzzle she makes, okay? The missing piece. That's not the missing piece. Do better. And the statement that he made that got the request for the mistrial is that Brennan specifically said, are you aware that clothing was tested for dog DNA and none was found? And that's when Alessi was like, mistrial. Because that bias makes it seem like, oh, well, it couldn't have been a dog bite. But y'all didn't test that material at the time of the accident. And she did go on to say that after the mistrial was denied, she did go on to say that the clothing wasn't tested right away. Why didn't y'all do a thorough investigation as normal procedures? You better tell them y'all didn't do correct procedures. That's your fault. How do we know it wasn't there? But y'all tested so doggone late. Who knows what could have happened? And she's trying to give scenarios to kind of explain why there was an absence of DNA of the dog. Point blank, end the period. And she, of course, talked about pattern recognition, which is what she was doing when she's saying there's 4 different categories of the section of his arm that were, injured. And that was pattern recognition because I have seen that pattern multiple times before. That is how I knew it was a dog bite, from photos and not having to see it in person. That is what years and decades of expertise does for you. Duh. What's the point? What is the point of being knowledgeable for decades on something and you got to do it the way you did it when you first learned it? No, that is experience. When I first learned it, I had to look at it in person. When I got my level of knowledge, because I've been doing this for decades, baby, I can look at a photo. Don't be mad she can look at a photo. That's why her coins is coming, okay? Expertise. Expertise means your level of knowledge has upped. Her level of knowledge is upped. Decades. All right. Decades. And the main thing that she said that I think was important to mention is if he had been hit by a vehicle, I would expect to see bruises. I would expect to see fractures of that arm in some way, shape, or form. Because when you are getting hit by a vehicle that is causing enough pressure to make a tail light break out and nothing else on the vehicle is damaged and scar your arm on the way to glory, you should have had something broken. You should have had some type of bruises, especially because you are sitting out for hours. And if there are a lack of bruises due to the weather, the medical examiner should have testified to that. She did not. Point blank, end the period. That was Dr. Russells' testimony. Asking an officer from a different department to do a job your department did not do is diabolical. Brennan telling Sergeant Barros that he should have took a picture of Karen's SUV? Absolutely not. Why would he need to do a job that your officers didn't do? Because they don't know how to do their own doggone job. But he's supposed to do their job and his. Don't do it. So the 5th witness on the stand for the defense in the Karen Read Retrial was Sergeant Nicholas Barros, and he is a sergeant at the Dighton Police Department. He is actually the officer that was called to make sure, kind of facilitate a tow of Karen's SUV from her parents' home to the Sallyport in Canton. His job simply was to make sure that nothing went down in his jurisdiction. That was his job. But he remembers details that the tail light was cracked and not completely gone. And anybody who really saw it really gone would remember it was completely gone. They would be like, what? You can't do that. What? They will remember it. So he went over details that he did remember. He doesn't remember every single thing. Nobody does. But he did go over what he remembered this trial and the last trial, because he is a repeat. And he definitely said on January 29th that tail light was not smashed out. You would remember if it was smashed. You remember a smash versus a crack. Did show him the photo of the SUV on the trailer as it was, about to leave. And they're like, you see all that red, right? Right. If it was cracked, we would not see all of that red on the photos. Yes, people be photoshopping, AI, all that jazz. But he will remember that. Who forgets that? Nobody. Now, of course, Brennan's tactic to everybody, every single person, is to undermine their skill level as if nobody is ever qualified. And he's like, well, you don't remember everything when you write down a report, or you don't write down everything that you see or hear or whatever experience when you write down your reports. And he's like, no, you can't do that every single time, but I do know how to write a report. That's why I'm a sergeant now. Got a little upgrade. He said I'm a supervisor. So I don't write reports as much now, but back then, whatever I did back then got me qualified to get a new position. Do better. And of course, AJ has been on a road today because he has not been the one to play with. And so he got up he got in that AJ energy. We like that little shuffle. He said, so you had a birthday 2 years ago, right? What day of the week was that on? I don't remember. Right. Just because I had an event doesn't mean I'm supposed to remember every single detail. And it is not my responsibility to take a picture of a vehicle that I'm only here to facilitate, make sure y'all don't do nothing else in my doggone jurisdiction you're not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to take a picture of that SUV. I could have, but y'all didn't take a picture. Why are you not telling what your fault of this process is, instead of trying to tell me what I should have did? That's not part of my job description for having a vehicle towed out of my jurisdiction. That's not the process. He's not required to take a picture. He is not required to walk the vehicle and give a detail about the vehicle that he saw. But he's going to know, anybody would know, honestly, besides him being a police officer, anybody would know if it was a crack versus it being completely smashed out, it completely being gone. Because your mindset should have automatically been, how did this get on the road? Who let somebody drive with that gone like that? Because they wouldn't. They would stop you for the crack. Down here where I live, at least. They will stop you for the crack and be like, you know that's cracked, right? I'm gonna need you to go in and pull over and have that towed and fixed. They won't let you drive nowhere. So it being completely gone, please stop, please. And AJ stated things that he, of course, said that he knew. Who he talked to, what day it was, what he saw, interactions, things, who made the phone call, who picked up the vehicle, things of that sort. He would remember because it was something to remember. Him asking like, those are things that you wouldn't remember when that's part of your job. He didn't get up there and give us some, I don't know, answers like Officer Dever. Then, of course, AJ did throw in, didn't the Commonwealth call you last time? And he said, yes. So when did we speak? He said, after that first trial is when we spoke. I haven't spoken to any of them, but they didn't call me back. Right. So originally he was the Commonwealth witness, and this year he is the defense's witness, and his statements have not changed with either side. When he talked to the Commonwealth and did the trial last year, he said the exact same thing that he said this time when he did his statements for the defense. Nothing has changed in his statement. He only saw it cracked. He did not see it smashed out. Point blank in the period, he came across believable. Believed. So he was the last witness of the day. They did go ahead and finish with him. They did do a little bit of a sidebar about some potential witnesses that are coming next. And according to Turtle Boy, one of them stated that Jen McCabe had told her that there was video footage of Karen Read actually hitting John O'Keefe to try and make her, sway her into believing certain things. And of course, we know it ain't no doggone video footage. If it ever was, it was absolutely deleted. Honestly, it's probably what happened. But they did do a little quick sidebar about her. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.